She's a real pain in the... Welcome to the Pain in My Cast podcast with yours truly, Cassandra Jean. She's a real pain in the... Welcome to the Pain in My Cast podcast with yours truly, Cassandra Jean. It has been 9 months since my breakup. I went through a really bad breakup in September of 2021. If you haven't heard episode 2, 12 Steps to Healing from a Cheater, you're definitely missing out. I'm really vulnerable on that episode. I share too many details about my past relationship. I unpack the hurt, what it felt like being cheated on. And when I recorded the episode, I was at one of the lowest points of my life. Heartbreak is a very confusing thing. At the time, I thought I would never heal from heartbreak. Every time I went out to the club, to the bars, anywhere I went with my girlfriends, I would break down and cry. I would hang out with my mom. I wouldn't stop talking about my ex. It took months. I've talked about this too. I would go look at his Spotify playlist, which I shouldn't be telling y'all this, and see if he was adding sad songs to it. Because at this point, it was the only thing I had left to grasp onto him and that relationship. So today I'm sitting here to say that I am healed. I, for a long time, was not emotionally available. I've heard that word thrown around a lot lately with guys I've dated, with mutual friends. And I'm here to say I am emotionally available now, but it took healing to get to that point. And I'll be honest, there was a lot of things I had to do to heal from my previous relationship. There were weeks I had a hard time eating anything. I'd be oversleeping, then I'd be undersleeping. It was so difficult. And there were certain things I had to put in place to help me get over this breakup. Obviously, all contact was cut off. I had to stop trying to see what was going on in his life. I had to let go of looking at his Spotify playlist. And I had to do things that made me feel comfortable and made me feel safe again. I started sleeping with a heated blanket. Who fucking knows? But it made me feel warmth, I guess. I bought a sound machine. I now play white noise every single night. I really focused on my morning routine, which I'll talk about. I'll do another solo episode about what I do for my morning routine because it's very helpful. I just set in place a lot of different tactics and systems kind of trying to get over this breakup. And I didn't really date very much. I was focused on working on myself. I know what I want in a partner. I know what I deserve in a partner. And if I was going to get in another relationship, I wanted to show up as the best version of myself. But when you get out of a long-term relationship, or sometimes even a short-term relationship, I think it's important to take time to look back at that relationship, see what you do want in a relationship, what you don't want in a relationship. I think a lot of people jump into other relationships as soon as possible, and that's a huge red flag to me. If you're not okay with sitting alone by yourself for a second, you must not like yourself. It's concerning to me. I was focused on working on myself, improving my career, and just trying to show up as the best version of me. And I actually ended up getting a huge promotion. So that's just to show that focusing on yourself can really pay off. After my first big heartbreak, I wanted to grieve the loss of my relationship. I knew for me that's what I needed. Improve yourself. You can't just go from one relationship to another and think that the new relationship is going to be so much better than the previous one because you haven't even taken the time to reflect on your previous relationship, work on yourself, check in, make sure you have self-love, you value yourself. I will say that I am proud that I took the time to heal. That's why I can sit here today and say, I am healed. And I've had friends say to me multiple times, Cass, are you emotionally available? And that's a question I've been asking myself a lot recently. So what the fuck even is emotional availability? I think it's a term that is thrown around so much in dating society. And really, at the end of the day, emotional availability is a state of mind. It's not an absence of feelings. If you've gone through a heartbreak, you're still going to have hurt feelings there. You're still going to have bad days. It's the ability to be open and honest about who you are, what you're feeling, and embrace those feelings. You have to be vulnerable. And being vulnerable means that you're willing to share your experiences with others. And when you're willing to share your experiences with others, I think that means you're open to welcoming someone else in your life. Right after my breakup, kind of soon after, I did go on a date and I definitely caught feelings for this person. I didn't expect it, but it just was fun. He was giving me a serotonin high after being sad for a really long time. And then he tells me that he's not emotionally available. And I think that's a term guys use almost when they have commitment issues. They can be evasive, flaky, hard to read. They're basically scared of intimacy. And this person was not open to having me in their life because they were still healing from a previous relationship themselves. And that really made me question that if you want to be with someone emotionally available, you first have to be emotionally available yourself. And I learned that the hard way. I do believe that when the right person comes into your life, you will know. It's so easy to know. You can't stop thinking about them. You're smiling again. Like, you just think about them all the time in the back of your mind. And you have to choose. You make that choice if you want to be vulnerable with them or not. And that's scary. Being vulnerable with anyone and letting those walls down is really fucking scary. I will say it's scary as hell for me, especially after being cheated on, an abusive, narcissistic relationship. But you know what? I want love as badly as I want air, basically. I am such a loving, kind-hearted person that has so much love to give to someone, and I'm not going to give that love to anyone. I'm going to give that love to someone who values me, makes me happy, I can start a family with. I say this all the time to my friends. I want to be a mom. I want to have kids. I want to get married. I'm so tired of like being out in the clubs, doing all this single girl shit. It's exhausting. I just want to sit at home on a ranch with my 4 children and my husband, okay? But I'm not rushing anything. You can't rush it. And I'm a big believer in mindset and telling yourself, checking in with yourself, just being aware of where you are at in your healing process. And I think when you do decide to make the conscious decision to date again, things will happen how they're supposed to happen, but you have to make the choice to be open. You have to put yourself out there a little bit. You have to be going on dates. When you're asked on a date, it's so beneficial to go because you're just putting out to the universe that I'm open to dating. Even if this person isn't meant for me, at least I'm putting myself out there to find my potential soulmate. So that's my little rant. I just wanted to check in from when I did the cheating episode 9 months ago. It's crazy how fast and slow time goes by at the same time. But if you're dealing with heartbreak and you put the work in, you can get to that healed state. Anyway, I love you guys. XO, Cass.